Welcome to Subramani. Please subscribe. 38,000 subscribers looks good, but 3,80,000 looks even better. No, I'm just joking. But I was talking to a person who is about 70 or 67, 68 years of age, and he was asking me how much could he withdraw very safely. So going back to the safe withdrawal, so you tell people you could withdraw 4%, then they're not happy. You tell people you can withdraw 6%, then they're saying it's okay. Depending on the size of the portfolio, depending on the asset allocation that they have done. So the problem is, I keep telling people that you have to know how much of your expenditure is flexible. Is an annual vacation flexible, or will you must have it? Will you want a foreign tour once in 3 years at the age of 67, or will you want it once a year, or whether you don't want it at all? Those are questions which I don't think people are able to answer unemotionally at say 55, 56 years of age. So people really don't know how much they will be spending in retirement. And the most important thing is how much of it they are flexible. So somebody with a pet may decide that they will keep the pet, but they will not get another pet if this pet dies. So suppose somebody is 52 years of age, or somebody is say 56 years of age, and he's got a dog or a cat, and that cat lives till the age of 17. So which means the cat could live and you could be 73, 74. At that stage, do you want to take money out for looking after the cat? I mean, this is just one example. So having a pet, grooming it, taking the pet to the vet, paying the vet fees, these are all expenses. Is this flexible? Is it not flexible? Is your gym membership flexible? Not flexible. Is your vacation flexible? Not flexible. These are questions which people are not wanting to answer. So if you don't want to answer, there is no way how your financial advisor or your MFD or somebody sitting with you doing your calculations can help. You have to answer these questions to yourself honestly, along with your spouse and children, because you've got them used to certain lifestyle. Will you be able to maintain it, or will you cut back? Now the question is, should I put more money in guilt and debt, so that I can be sure that my income will be so much, but then I may not have adequate capital to get that kicker in for inflation, because inflation is a reality. We are going to see decent inflation in US, we are going to see inflation in India. So you need inflation protection. So how much money should you put in debt? How much money should you put in equity? That's a question which you have to constantly grapple with. Or you say, okay, when the year is very good and I get say 58% return or 55% in equity, I know it has done extremely well. In that year, I will remove some money from equity and use it for doing a foreign trip. Otherwise, I am not going to do a foreign trip every year. Now 3 years in a row, if the markets are good, you can go maybe on 3 vacations, but if you are 70 plus, after that stage you may not be too keen, you may not want too much of complexity, so you may want a simpler portfolio. So maybe at 70 you go and buy annuity, one of the worst products in terms of return and in terms of taxation, but you say it's okay, I live with that because I don't want a very complex portfolio. So wanting a simple life, wanting a complex life, wanting a simple portfolio, wanting a complex portfolio, wanting great returns, all of this you have to compromise something somewhere and say, okay, this is what I will get and this is what I have, and I'm willing to be flexible and adaptive to what is happening around me, and I'm not in a hurry to say I want to withdraw at least 6% or things like that. So how much can you withdraw? My thumb rule is the GSEC rate minus 1% or minus 1.5%. So if the GSEC rate in India is 6% today, just for argument's sake, then you will safely be able to withdraw 4.5, which is 6 minus 1.5. If the GSEC rate goes up to say 9 or 10, let's say it goes to 10, which means in that year you will be able to withdraw about 8.5%. But that answer I'm not willing to say, okay, you will be able to do this, simply because I'm saying my answer could change. After some time I could say it could be GSEC minus 1. right, instead of 1.5. So right now I think in India, if you have a portfolio which is 60-40, 60% in equity and 40% in debt, or maybe 50-50, I think about 5% looks very decent, because the GSEC rate may be 6.4 now, so 5% you will be able to withdraw, right, especially if you are in mutual funds and you are in growth option, so you're going to pay lesser tax also. So yes, I think you will be able to withdraw so much. But I'm still saying the flexibility of spending has to be there, because when you start out in life, you think you're going to get the following things, but you don't get some of those things. You still live, right? You don't just go jump out of the window and say, oh my god, I don't have a car of this size or a house of this size, so I'm committing suicide. It doesn't happen. You are flexible. We are all flexible. So in a good year, when markets do well, you take money out and do whatever you want. In a year when the markets don't do well, you will learn to live on less. Other thing you can do is, when the market does well, you take it and put it into your fixed income, saying, okay, now I've got a great return, so that great return will not be followed by another great return, so let me remove some money, put it in debt, and let me get an annuity, or whatever. You put it into a debt fund and you start with doing an SWP after 3 years, when taxation is more benign, right? So you do all those things. So you decide, okay, I've got 2 crores, I've got 3 crores, and this is how I'm going to live. And for heaven's sake, write it down. Create your investment philosophy statement. How much do we need, how much can we spend, is a question which I have never been able to answer very honestly, because it is going to be an experiment for you as much as for your advisor. So remember that. Again, it's an empirical question as to how you're going to handle this. There is nothing called an average, because I meet very different kind of people. So somebody on an average spends so much does not make sense at all. And the risk that you are taking on the portfolio, or that you are willing to take, comes from this flexibility which the client is showing, and client is saying that I don't mind risk in my portfolio if I can spend more. But the risk comes from the fact that in case things go wrong and his net worth goes down, how is he going to react to it? That's not something which is very easy for people to tackle. The risk that stocks will underperform bonds over the next few years is very high, especially because of the starting point of the index. If the index is so high now, chances are you will get very poor returns over the next 3-4 years, and you can't do anything about it. Bas lage raho. Because in between, if the stocks do well, you don't want to miss out on that. But other than that, you have to work on your debt portfolio. You have to work on your maybe you will work on your real estate portfolio. Maybe you will get some rent. I'm not getting into that area, but I'm just saying. So all those possibilities exist. So please understand, your managing your life during retirement, there's going to be a lot of fluctuation and change, and at some stage you could be alone. Imagine managing a very complex portfolio when you are alone. You don't want to do that. You want to simplify it even more and say, okay, I'll get this pension, I'll get this pension from my job, I get this annuity which I have created, I've got money in my debt funds, I've got money in my equity funds. I know I have to take money from different sources. If the market is booming, I will do an SWP from an equity fund. If the markets are down, I will withdraw from my debt fund. So these basics you should know, and after that you just live by the year. I mean, see what happens and react to it. Be reactive, be flexible. This is the only, these are the most important words. Declutter your portfolio, be flexible, be healthy, right? So all that has to work together for you if your retirement has to be good. Thank you.